On to more amazing information for life skills. And really, that's not meant to be sarcastic. So, there's some good stuff. Let's look at today or this time. So, risky behaviors, and we're not going to spend a ton of time on that, but I'm going to touch on that. Exercise, stress, coping, emotions, and self esteem. That's a lot of bizzo, right? That's okay. We'll fly through it. It'll be kind of interesting for you, hopefully. So, the first thing is staying well. What does that look like to you? I know that a lot of people think that staying well is just about, oh, I'm not sick, I'm well. But it's not so much that. There's so many things that encompass. And if you remember, look at all the things we're going over. All of these things involve you staying well. Okay, so keep that in mind. We're going to talk about a lot of different components to staying well as opposed to just being physically not sick. Okay? So first of all, the first kind of component of staying well is risky behaviors. I want you guys to ask yourselves, because I ask myself this all the time and I know the answer. How many of you guys consider yourselves to be living on the edge? I'll raise my hand. I am an adrenaline junkie. I admit it. I love anything that is kind of crazy, and so that's just kind of me. So I want you guys to think about that's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. I guess it kind of depends on what those risky behaviors could mean. Are they things that are really putting your life in danger? Okay, now that could be some of the stuff that I do, which is like mountain biking on crazy trails, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. But also risky behaviors include doing drugs, smoking, drinking, stuff like that can harm your body as well. Okay, so watch this. Would you do this? Would this be keeping yourself well? Watch and see.
Magma Patty, take one. Big, stunt, high, lots of consequence. Very scary.
Backup number one, check, burn down.
I think the most impressive thing that I saw on that stunt was when Dharma gets up to the highest part. It's about 13 feet in the air. You jump off to the left, you're done. You jump off to the right, you're done. And he stalls. And we're like, he's going down. There's no way he's going to be able to save this one. And it turns out he stalled on purpose so he could take his hands off the handlebars for a little silly little trick, like he calls it, and put his hands back on and keep pedaling. So as soon as he put his hands back on and continued up the bridge, everybody's like, yeah, yeah, yeah!
There's some, a little bit of adrenaline there.
That was sick.
Oh, man. I think I'll do that one again very soon.
Oh man, my heart stopped.
Off the bottom of the sugar now. Okay, ready.
Holy cow. Can I just tell you? So, I'm a huge mountain biker, love it, love technical stuff. I'm not that crazy. And some of those are called trestles, and actually in Winter Park, they have a really cool park all full of those trestles, which are like those little bridges and berms and stuff made out of kind of like wood little slats. So, kind of crazy. I don't think I'll ever do that. So be careful with the behaviors that you're engaging in, because obviously that can dictate whether or not your life is going down the right path, okay? All right, let's talk about physical fitness, because this again is another portion or component of being well, staying well, maintaining your health. Okay, so what is physical fitness? A lot of you guys are like, well, I just go on a walk or I get on a treadmill. Well, there's a lot more to it. It is the ability of the body to carry out daily physical activities without getting out of breath, sore, or overly tired. Now, I want you guys to think about that. There are some of you guys, and you might know who you are, that are not physically fit. And if you're walking up the stairs and you're out of breath, or you feel like you're tired from the stairs, you really need to reevaluate where you are in your physical fitness, because you guys are young. You need to be setting good habits for your future. And I say that because I came from a very obese family. I had to watch that, and I could have gone either way too, but I chose to stay active so that I would not gain weight. But I had that in my genes. So I say that you guys need to see where you're at right now and take that to heart and make some changes if you need to, okay? So some of the benefits of physical fitness. I wanted you guys to kind of think of some examples in your head, because obviously you're not here with me as usual, but think of some examples. Mental, physical, social benefits, right? There's tons. Mental, I know for me, like right now it's pretty late, but I'm going to go and exercise after because it just renews my mind. It gives me more energy. Physically, obviously, I can attain kind of my goals for my body and maintain a weight that I want to carry. Social benefits, it gives you that self-esteem that you want to feel, or you feel good about yourself. So you feel like, hey, I can make friends, because sometimes I know when you're not feeling great about yourself, you don't feel social. You don't want to be social. You don't want to go around and hang out with others. So know that the benefits of physical fitness are huge, okay? All right, there's actual 5 components of fitness too. So we're talking about components of staying well. There's actually components of fitness. You have muscular strength, which obviously this guy's got some serious muscular strength. Obviously, how much muscle strength, or how much strength do you have in your muscles, okay? That is a component. Muscular endurance. How long can those muscles sustain that energy and effort, okay? So I think of, if you guys have ever seen The March of the Penguins, it's a pretty cool movie because it's talk about endurance, and it actually encompasses muscular endurance and cardiorespiratory endurance, because these guys travel miles and miles. Actually, it's the girls, by the way. The girls travel miles and miles and miles to go get food, come back, and barf it up in the spouse's and kids' mouth. Awesome, right? Sounds good. But no, I really, seriously, in all seriousness, the cardiovascular endurance, the cardiorespiratory endurance that these guys have are absolutely mind-boggling. Flexibility, obviously, how flexible? Not that you have to be able to do this back bend, but you need to be able to be flexible so that your muscles can move in the ways that they're allowed to be, or the ways they're supposed to be, should I say, okay? And then body composition is all about kind of your lean body mass as compared to your fat, okay? Because you have a certain amount of fat in your body, and everyone needs to have a certain amount of fat. But when you look at your body composition, you want to make sure it's in a healthy range, okay? So that's what body composition is referring to, your lean body mass versus the fat that is in your body. So what physical activities are you all into? Think about that. Maybe you can't say much. Maybe you're like, I love to pick my nose. Isn't that the grossest picture ever? Or I love underwater basket weaving, if there's really ever such a thing. No, but think about some of the activities that maybe you enjoy. Start doing them more. If that's just walking your dog, do it more. Maybe increase that to a run, for goodness sakes, okay? Get some physical activity within you, okay? Because that's part of staying well. So you guys have a assignment coming up, an exercise plan. So consider what level of exercise is recommended for your age, height, and weight. Something that you need to know is when you go to choosemyplate.gov, okay, because that's one of the websites that it tells you to go to, there's a tab that says physical activity on the top. That is where you're going to click. Now, I apologize because that Choose My Plate and, all those, everything that has to do with that website changes constantly. So when this curriculum was made, it was easier to navigate at that time, and you could find where you needed to go. But what I need you guys to know is that if you click on physical activity up on the top, there's I don't know how many tabs on the top. click on that, you'll be able to find what level is recommended for your age, height, and weight. Maybe not that specifically, maybe just age. If you still can't find it, just Google it. I promise you'll be able to find that, okay? Consider the types of exercise that you like to do, because obviously if you don't like to do something, you're not going to want to do it. So if you despise running, don't put running in your exercise plan, please, because I know you won't follow it. So pick stuff that you like to do. Maybe it's organized sports and you love flag football, or you know, maybe it's hiking and you want to get up in the mountains. Whatever it might be, you guys need to include that in your plan. Then write a detailed plan of action. So it can't just be like, hey, well, I'm going to exercise 3 days a week. It's got to be how long, what days. Not that I care if it's Monday, Tuesday, but you know, are you going to take a day off in between? So make sure you are detailed in that plan of action. Okay? So we're not going to visit the website right now because I don't have it pulled up. I forgot. But that's okay. I've kind of explained to you guys. So when you go to choosemyplate.gov, there is a physical activity tab that you can click on, and you'll see what exercise is recommended for your age group. Moving on. Emotional roller coaster. Is that what you are? So I remember these times in high school, and it was rough because there were so many emotions going on in my head, from school to family issues to boyfriends and girlfriends and whatever. So how do you deal with your emotions? I'm curious. Good? Bad? Do you not even know? Well, I'm going to show you a video. Some of you guys might have seen this. I hope you don't deal with your emotions like this person, because it's a little bit over the top. Okay? So, watch this. Greatest freak out ever. Please don't follow in this kid's footsteps.
Okay, my mom just canceled my brother's World of Warcraft account, and he's freaking out. What? Oh my god.
Oh my dear goodness. Okay, please don't act like that. That's a little overboard, a little dramatic. Sticking the remote in your butt, I don't know what that's supposed to do. Anyways, kind of funny. But really, truly, you need to know how to manage your emotions, okay? So sometimes you feel like this. You're like, happy. I'm sad. I'm happy again. That's like my 3-year-old. She's like, you know, light switch. But know how to control those, okay? I know that's not easy, and it's easier said than done because it took me a while, but you have to know how to express your emotions. So we have to know basically what our emotions are and be proficient in expressing them, because a lot of us are not. Some of you guys hold things in and never want to express them. That's not okay either, okay? So here's some helpful tips in expressing your emotions. So don't keep them all inside. That's not going to help. It's going to build up. You're going to get bitter with people and angry, and that's not going to be good. So bottling it up will lead to frustration down the road. Find a way to decompress. Some of you guys maybe want to go on a walk and take some time alone. Some of you guys use music. Some of you guys need to take deep breaths. Whatever that is, find a way to relieve that stress and emotion that you're dealing with, okay? Another thing is, maybe you need to cry a little. It's okay to cry, even you boys. I got another video for you. It's called The Best Cry Ever. So, these are two guys crying. It's okay to cry. Not that you have to be a baby and cry all the time, but sometimes you need that outlet, okay? Obviously these two did. Watch this.
Because I know somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
Let it all out, man. Whatever it takes, right? Doesn't matter if you sound like that. Just let it all out. Okay, let's move on to self-esteem. So some of you guys are like, I don't know if I really know what that means. Because self-esteem is not just, hey, I look in the mirror and I look hot tonight, so I must have a pretty good self-esteem. That's not what it's always about. Yes, feeling good about yourself is part of self-esteem, but it's not always about looks. How do you feel inside about yourself? Okay, so I like this picture because it's like this teeny little kitty, but he looks in the mirror and he's like, yeah, I see a lion. That's a good image. Some people will look in the mirror and they're like, oh man, I see nothing but flaws. That's not a good self-esteem, okay? So most people define it as, I have a high self-esteem because I think I'm pretty and I'm good looking. So not the case. That doesn't mean you have high self-esteem. That might mean you're confident or cocky or conceited. I mean, it could be a negative thing if you just think you have a high self-esteem because you're pretty. That's really not the gist of it, okay? It's so much more than that. So I want you guys to think about that. It comes from internally, how you feel about yourself. And that has to do a lot with maybe how you were raised, some of your experiences growing up. Now, obviously, I will talk from experience. I didn't have an amazing childhood. I could have let that kind of wreck my self-esteem. You have to choose to grow and learn from those experiences so that your self-esteem can grow from that, okay? So remember that your self-esteem can be from, childhood and how you were perceived then and how you were nurtured by your parents. But if you didn't have that, that doesn't mean you're out of luck. Sorry, no self-esteem for the rest of your life. No, you can work on it, okay? So, all right, self-esteem, the origin. Really, I want you to know that it's a measure of how much you value, you respect, and you feel confident about yourself. Those are the three key things. Value, respect, and are you confident? That's what you need in order to improve your self-esteem. Okay? Those are great things. You want to value yourself. You've got to respect yourself. Otherwise, you're going to make very poor decisions. And you have to feel confident about who you are and who you were made to be. Because sometimes you just aren't accepting who you are, and you have to. That's part of life. Okay? So, benefits of high self-esteem. Increased respect. You're going to get respect from more people. Increased ability to achieve goals. You'd be amazed that the higher your self-esteem is, the more you're going to achieve those goals that you set. Increased willingness to try. Increased feelings of value. How about this hot dog? Hey, I'm awesome. Hey, everybody. That's good self-esteem, right? Okay, so obviously the risks of low self-esteem are going to be the opposite. You're not going to gain respect from people. You're not going to feel valued. You're going to have a hard time achieving those goals because you don't feel like you can. Okay? So really take this to heart. If you know that you're suffering from low self-esteem, talk to somebody you trust. Have them really tell you some of the qualities that you need to know about yourself, and you have to believe them. Okay? You can't just say, yeah, but this, I suck at this, and I'm not good at this, and blah, 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 because that, you're just putting yourself down even more. Okay? So, how can we improve? Again, find somebody you trust. Talk to somebody. Some of the defense mechanisms we have when it comes to dealing with our emotions, and maybe if we are dealing with a low self-esteem, is coping with these unpleasant emotions, and we sometimes just blow up. So we're not aware of basically how we react until much later. So how many of you guys know that, you know, when you get stressed out, or if you're coping with something, or you know that, you know, you're dealing with something difficult and someone approaches you and you just blow up. You're kind of defending this inner feeling by just blowing up and kind of making it about something else. So make sure that you're not using those defense mechanisms, because really they're harming you more than helping you. Some of those defense mechanisms can prevent us from dealing with those issues, okay? So that's really important to think about. So let's talk stress. We're almost done here. We all have it. How do you positively handle it, okay? Stress is always in our lives, and sometimes we create it for ourselves, which is a bummer, but we do that. We're just, I kind of feel like we're wired. So what stressors do you have in your life? Situations that put a demand on your body or mind is what a stressor is. So think about that, and I'm going to give you a list to look at. Maybe you guys can relate to some of these. Do you have any environmental stresses where basically your conditions or events in your physical environment are affecting you? Sometimes people have diseases and medical issues that deal with the environment. That can cause serious stress. Biological stresses, conditions that make it hard physically to do daily activities. So those two could go hand in hand. Thinking, do you have mental challenges that really cause stress? Lots of people do. Behavioral, unhealthy behavior is going to cause stress. And life changes, of course. Anything that happens that's a life change. You move, you lose a loved one, your best friend moves away, something. Those are life changes that will definitely cause stress as well. So you need to deal with these stresses. If you let your stress level just build and build and build, it's going to lead to some health issues. And I have to tell you that in high school, I let my stress get so bad that I developed stomach ulcers, which basically, when you're stressed out, your body has these reactions. One of them is producing more hydrochloric acid in your stomach, which is what breaks down your food. But remember, hydrochloric acid is an acid, and it's very, it can really hurt you if it's produced in too much. So this acid would start to burn through holes in my stomach. That's what an ulcer is. So because of my stress level, I started developing these. You have to learn how to deal with your stress, or it will really, really put you under, and it's not fun, okay? So ways to decrease stress: exercise, sleep. You crazy cats. I know that some of you guys go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and then you get up at 6. No, not really. Most of you guys go to bed at like 3 or 4 and get up at 12. But still, that's not healthy sleeping habits. Make sure you're getting at least 8 hours of sleep. Eat healthy, for goodness sakes. That's going to give you the energy you need and the ability to be able to make good decisions and deal with your stress when it comes up. So time to work on it. I want you to breathe deep, even wherever you're at right now. Take a deep breath. When you feel stressed, I just put my hands down. I take a deep breath. And I do that like 3 times. By the 3rd breath, I guarantee you will let go of just even a little bit of your stress. Okay? Practice that. When you feel like these deadlines for school are getting you down and you don't think you can finish, take 1, take 2, take 3 breaths. Know that you're going to get through whatever you're dealing with step by step, okay? Breathing is huge. Release tension in your body. That's part of what breathing does, exercise does, all of those things relieve tension. Learn and grow from your experiences. If you hold on to some of your harsh experiences that maybe you had as a child or growing up or even now, all you're going to do is become bitter and angry, and that's only going to lead to further stress or higher stress levels, okay? Changing your attitude. You know what? If you're going to be positive, you're going to be able to deal with your stress more positively, okay? And time management is huge. If you guys are not good at time management and you guys are procrastinating and you're doing this and that before something else that maybe needs to be more of a higher priority, you need to work on that. Because that's going to, first of all, be a lifelong lesson that you're going to need as you grow and, you know, you have your career and family and all that. But that's going to lower your stress levels. Get a planner. Write things down. Time manage. Okay? All right. So there's enough for you. There's a mouthful. Take it in, think about it, and apply it. All right.